Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. Good to have you. My name is Peace. Welcome to the space where we talk about all things marriage, all things motherhood, lifestyle, and all the fun stuff. I want to keep this video really short, precise, and to the point. I have been getting a lot of DMs about mamas asking me how I store my breast milk after pumping. So I'm going to get straight into the video. So you remember the video that I shot about how to pumping and how to increase your milk supply? Yes. So in today's video, I'll be sharing a few of my tips, my personal tips that I used. Well, after doing quite the research, when I was going into the whole pumping and freezing of breast milk, I had to sit down and do my research. After a lot of information, that's why I want to keep this video really short, because I got overwhelmed with a lot of information online and ended up, picking what worked for me, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So what do you need? Straight to the point. You have a freezer, you're good to go. You know, when you're reading about this, they tell you deep freezing and all that, but I'm going to be realistic. Some of us don't have deep freezers. We have just the usual fridge that we use at home. So the freezer part, that part where you store your, your meat so it doesn't go bad and everything, that is the place I'm talking about. What else do you need? A warmer, a milk warmer. Well, this comes, I don't know if they sell this on its own, but I bought this as a package together with the sterilizer and everything. It comes with a food warmer and a milk warmer. Because the milk is so frozen, it's hard to defreeze it with just, the typical warm water in the cup, which can also work if you're that patient. But because by the time you go to defreeze the milk, the baby is very hungry and they can't wait that long. That's why I encourage every mama, if you can, buy yourself a food and milk warmer for your baby. So now that we've established having a freezer and having a food warmer or milk warmer for your baby is what you need to be able to, freeze and your baby to consume the milk. All right, so now these are my tips. When you read about this, they'll tell you how many hours the milk has to be in room temperature, how many hours it should be out. But what I can tell you, of course, from what I did, do you have a pen and paper? It is as simple as this. Pump your milk and store your milk in the feeding bottle. After you've pumped your milk, transfer your milk into the feeding bottle. Usually there are storage bags for milk, but personally I did not have to use them because I feel like it's a lot of work, like freezing them and like defreezing and then transferring back to the feeding bottle. It was a lot, and I need something to really, do it really fast and like feed the baby. And sometimes as mamas, we don't have the time. So of course, convenience is everything nowadays. Storing the milk in the feeding bottle is way much easier. It's very, very easy. So, and also keep freezing it in small bits, because as soon as you defreeze the milk, you cannot refreeze it again. That's done. So when you keep your milk all the way up, when you defreeze that milk, that means if your baby doesn't finish it at one consumption, that's done. And also another thing that I would keep in mind, I would leave it for 2 hours at room temperature. That means after defreezing, that means through the baby warmer, the milk warmer and the food warmer, you put a little bit of water, electricity, and the water boils up. Of course, you control this, high, low, all that. And then I place from the freezer into here. Give it a few minutes. The warm water will defreeze the milk. So as soon as that is done, my dear mama, if your baby does not consume the whole of it, that's a waste, and that's liquid gold. We cannot afford to lose that milk. So try to freeze in bits. Like you can put as many as you want, like mini feeding bottles into the fridge. If you know your baby's appetite, if they drink a lot, of course you'll feel it where you think that they can consume it at a one sitting. So you do that. You do your mama. So as for me personally, my baby didn't really consume a lot at the beginning. So the first times, of course, I would freeze the whole bottle and then have to pour it. Oh, so heartbreaking. So I learned my lesson. I froze in bits because I already now knew how much he consumes. That helped me separate or like measure in all these food. I would have like 4 of them in the freezer, but of course knowing if it takes up to 2 ounces, then not now. When I say then, it's like, you know, let's say 3 months to 7 months. That is the range that I'm giving, because that is when I constantly had to measure that. But now he's a big boy, he takes the whole thing and plus more. Yeah, so I think that's it for freezing. As for hours, when you read about this again, they give you hours when it's in the freezer. You can freeze it for 3 to a week, 3 days to a week. Personally, I can't handle that. In a deep freezer, they say a month. But anyway, it didn't sit right with me. Not all information, you have to take it. Pick what works for you, what you feel is comfortable, and also follow instructions. Personally, I would not feel comfortable giving my baby breast milk that has been sitting or that has been frozen for 3 days. So I'll at least do 24 hours. That is like in the freezer, like in your meal, behind everything, whereby when you open the fridge, it doesn't, like, you know, put in the warm air and everything. So I made sure I only froze for 24 hours. Beyond that, I could not bring myself to giving it to him. They advised 72 hours, but for me, I could not take it. So I made sure he consumed the milk in the 24 hours. And also on room temperature, that means after defreezing, I would make sure he takes it in that 2 hours. After the 2 hours it's been sitting out there, I made sure he did not take that. I had to throw it out. Hence, freezing in small bits. Nakamara na chiwazo uramwongera. You again get another bottle, defreeze again, and then give him or her. Yeah. So those are my few tips that I have on how I did it, and I hope it can be helpful to you, mama. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'll definitely answer you. If this video is all over the place, I hope you get the point, and thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.